Welcome back to Mighty Habits, everybody. I'm Steven,
Hey, everybody.
and I'm so excited for today's deep dive.
Me too.
We're talking all about dopamine detox with the amazing Mary.
Yeah, dopamine detox, what is that?
Yeah, right.
Sounds kind of scary.
Does sound scary.
Yeah, what are we going to be doing?
Yeah, we're gonna
I mean,
sit in a room and just stare at a wall.
exactly, and not eat anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe drink water.
Well, maybe not even drink water.
Oh, God.
But seriously, folks, today's deep dive is all about, well, reclaiming your focus. It's about getting your brain to do hard things, even if they seem kind of boring compared to, endlessly scrolling TikTok.
Yes, yes.
And the book that we're going to be looking at today is called
What's it called?
Dopamine Detox, a short guide to remove distractions and get your brain to do hard things.
Wow, that's a long title.
It is a long title.
But I like it.
It is a long title, and it's by Thibaut Meurisse.
Okay, Thibaut Meurisse, I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds very fancy.
I know, right?
Okay, so dopamine detox, what is it?
Yeah, so the idea here is that our brains are kind of being hijacked by the modern world, right? Like we've got notifications and social media and just this constant allure of instant gratification.
Yeah, it's so easy just to pick up your phone and, go on Instagram or check Facebook or whatever. Or just watch a show.
It's so easy.
Yeah,
And it feels good in the moment.
it does.
But then later we're like, why didn't I get anything done?
Right. Why do I feel so empty inside?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this deep dive is going to explore how to kind of fight back against that, right? How to reclaim your focus, how to get your brain to actually want to do the things that are good for us in the long run.
So it's like retraining our brains to actually hard work again
Yes,
instead of just, the quick and easy stuff.
exactly.
Okay, I'm into this.
Yeah, I think this is something we all struggle with.
Totally.
So let's dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So first off,
Yeah.
we got to talk about dopamine.
Okay, what is dopamine? I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is.
It's this molecule that's often associated with pleasure, right?
Right.
Like when you do something that feels good, you get a little hit of dopamine.
Oh, okay.
But it's actually more than just pleasure.
So it's not just
It's not just,
a reward system.
yeah, it's not just about oh, this feels good, I want to do it again.
Okay.
It's also about anticipation
Yeah.
and motivation.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's the thing that drives us towards things that we need for survival.
Oh, so food, water,
Right.
connection with other people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
when we were just roaming around the savannah,
Right, we're cavemen.
Yeah.
Cave women.
dopamine was like, hey, go find some food.
Right.
Go find a mate.
Procreate.
Pass on your genes.
That's how we survived.
Okay.
But the problem is now,
Yeah, what's the problem?
the things that trigger dopamine are not necessarily things that are good for us in the long run. Oh, so those notifications on our phones or
Yes.
that endless scroll of, Instagram?
Exactly.
Those are the things that are triggering dopamine, even though they're not actually good for us.
They're not actually helping us survive.
Right.
They're not actually helping us thrive.
Yeah, they're just little hits of
They're just quick hits. Yeah.
pleasure.
And the problem is,
Okay, what's the problem?
the more we indulge in those quick hits,
Yeah.
the more our brain gets used to that level of stimulation.
Okay, so it's we're building up a tolerance
Yeah.
to dopamine. So we need more and more.
And then suddenly, the things that actually are important,
Right.
like working on that project
Yeah.
or spending time with loved ones or even just going for a walk in nature,
Oh, yeah.
those things seem
Boring
boring
compared to,
compared to the endless scroll.
right to that dopamine rush
Exactly.
that we get from our phone.
So it's we're training our brains to prefer the junk food over the nourishing meal.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do we do about it?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
And that's where dopamine detox comes in.
Okay, so dopamine detox is
It's like hitting the reset button
okay.
on your brain's reward system.
So we're kind of
You're giving your
weaning ourselves off of
Yes.
the junk food of dopamine,
Exactly.
trying to get back to.
You're giving yourself a break from those constant triggers so that you can recalibrate and find satisfaction in the things that actually matter.
Oh, so it's not about eliminating dopamine altogether.
No, no, no.
It's about
It's about getting it back
right.
to a healthy level
Okay.
where it's actually serving us instead of us serving it.
I like that.
Right.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Yeah. How do we actually do a dopamine detox?
Right, because it sounds kind of scary.
It does sound scary.
Like I said before.
Yeah. Are we talking about
Deprivation.
yeah, complete deprivation?
Vexillation.
I'm going to go live in a cave for a week and just meditate.
No social media, no screens, No, nothing. Just me and my thoughts.
That is one option.
Oh, okay, so there are other options.
There are other options.
Thank goodness.
It doesn't have to be that extreme.
Okay.
There are actually different approaches to dopamine detox.
Oh, tell me more.
And you can kind of choose the one that feels right for you and your goals.
Okay, so like what are the different approaches?
So you've got the 48-hour complete detox.
Okay.
48 hours. You've got the 24-hour detox.
24 hours, okay.
And then you've got what's called a partial detox.
A partial detox, okay.
So let's start with the most hardcore option.
Okay.
The 48-hour complete dopamine detox.
Okay, bring it on.
This is for those who are ready for a serious reset.
Like a total system reboot?
Yes.
Okay.
It involves eliminating most external stimulation for 2 full days.
2 full days, okay.
So we're talking no social media, no internet, no TV, no video games,
Oh my gosh.
no highly processed foods or sugary drinks.
So it's not just digital detox, it's like
It's like a full-on...
life detox.
Yeah, like a sensory deprivation chamber almost.
Wow.
It's about stripping away all of those external distractions and really reconnecting with yourself
And the simple things in life.
and the simpler pleasures in life.
Okay.
So, think contemplative walks in nature, reading a physical book, journaling, meditating, having deep conversations with loved ones without the distraction of phones.
Okay, that actually sounds kind of nice.
It does sound kind of nice, right?
Yeah, like I could get into that.
Yeah, I think there's something really appealing about that simplicity.
Yeah, just like stripping away all the noise.
Yeah.
Just like being present
Exactly.
in the moment.
I think we all crave that a little bit,
Yeah, totally.
even if we don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
So that's the 48-hour complete dopamine detox.
Okay.
Now, the 24-hour detox is the same concept,
Okay.
just a little shorter,
So it's a little bit more manageable.
a little bit more approachable.
Okay.
For us mere mortals who can't quite imagine going 2 full days without our precious technology.
Okay, I like that option.
Yeah.
The 24-hour one.
And then there's the partial detox,
The partial detox.
which is all about identifying your biggest source of stimulation,
Okay.
the one that's really throwing your focus off,
Right.
and just eliminating that for a specific period of time.
Okay.
So maybe it is social media for you,
Yeah.
or maybe it's video games,
Right.
or maybe it's constantly checking email.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that's like really hijacking your attention the most, you just say, okay, I'm going to take a break from that for, a day, a week, a month, whatever feels right for you.
So it's like we're choosing our poison,
Yeah, you're
and then we're doing a targeted strike
we're eliminating.
against your personal dopamine dealer.
Oh, I like that.
Right. So those are the 3 main approaches to dopamine detox.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
regardless of which one you choose, the big question is how do you actually make it successful?
Right, because it's easy to say,
It's easy to say,
I'm going to do a dopamine detox.
Yeah.
But then
but then life happens. Life happens as temptations are everywhere.
right, our phones are always buzzing.
Exactly.
There's always something new to watch.
Right.
So how do we actually resist that urge?
That's where having a plan comes in.
Okay.
And Thibaut outlines a really helpful 3-step method in his book.
Okay, so 3 steps.
3 steps.
Lay it on me.
Step 1 is to identify your biggest distractions.
Okay, so step 1, figure out what your distractions are.
What activity would have the biggest impact on your focus
Right.
if you stopped doing it?
Okay, so like for me, it's probably social media.
Yeah.
I spend way too much time scrolling through Instagram.
It's so easy to get sucked in.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so we figure out what our distractions are. What's step 2?
Step 2 is all about friction.
Friction.
You want to add friction to unwanted behaviors
Okay,
and reduce friction for desired behaviors.
so make the bad stuff harder to do
Yes.
and the good stuff easier to do.
Exactly.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah. So for example,
Yeah.
let's say your phone is your biggest distraction.
Okay, which it probably is for most people.
Right.
Yeah.
You could add friction by putting it in another room when you're trying to work.
Oh.
Turning off notifications, putting it on airplane mode.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds hard.
It does sound hard.
But I can see how it would be effective.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if it's not there tempting you,
Right.
you're less likely to get sucked in.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side,
Yeah.
if you want to reduce friction for something you actually want to do,
Right.
like let's say you want to start a daily writing habit,
Okay.
you could reduce friction by setting up a dedicated workspace.
Okay.
Having your laptop and notebook already open and ready to go.
Right. So it's all set up,
It's all set up,
ready to go.
maybe putting on some calming background music.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about creating an environment that invites you in.
So it's like we're setting ourselves up for success. Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And sometimes adding friction can be surprisingly simple.
Oh, really?
Thibaut talks about this example of putting his internet modem in the storage room
Wow.
when he really needed to focus.
That commitment.
Right.
Yeah.
So like he would have to physically go down to the storage room,
Right.
plug it back in just to get online.
It's like that extra step
That extra step
is enough to make you think twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Or am I just going to stay focused?
Okay, so we've identified our distractions. We've added friction.
Right.
What's the third step?
The third step is all about timing.
Timing. Okay.
Thibaut emphasizes the importance of starting your detox first thing in the morning,
Oh, okay.
before the stimulation floodgates open.
So before you even look at your phone?
Yes.
Okay.
It's about establishing a calming morning routine
Okay.
that helps you center yourself and set your intentions for the day.
So instead of like waking up and immediately checking email or scrolling through social media,
Yeah.
we're going to do something that's actually good for us.
Something that nourishes your mind and soul.
Okay.
So maybe it's meditation, maybe it's stretching, maybe it's journaling.
Right. Or even just
Or even just sitting in silence.
Yeah.
Enjoying a cup of coffee or tea.
I like that.
Right.
Okay. So we've got our 3 steps.
Yeah.
Identify our distractions.
Add friction. Start first thing in the morning.
Exactly.
This is great.
I think this is a really solid foundation
Yeah.
for reclaiming our focus.
It's like we're building a fortress.
Yeah.
A focus.
A focus fortress.
A focus fortress.
I love that.
Yeah.
But the detox is just the first step, right?
Right. Because it's one thing to...
It's one thing to hit the reset button,
Yeah.
but it's another thing entirely to actually maintain that focus
Right.
and avoid those sneaky dopamine traps in the long run.
So how do we do that?
Yeah. How do we make this a sustainable lifestyle change
Right.
and not just a temporary fix? Yeah, because I feel like I've tried this before
Yeah.
and I'll do good for like a day or two.
Yeah.
But then I just fall back into my old habits.
It's so easy to do.
It is.
Right.
So how do we make it stick?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to be exploring in part 2 of this deep dive.
Oh, I can't wait.
So make sure you tune in next time.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more strategies for maintaining focus and building a sustainable system that works for you.
That was good to me.
So in the meantime, folks,
Yeah.
what's one thing you could do today
Just one small thing.
to reclaim a little bit of your focus?
Yeah. What can you do right now?
Maybe put your phone on airplane mode.
Ooh.
Maybe close those extra tabs on your computer.
Yeah.
Maybe just take a few deep breaths
That's a good one.
and remind yourself that you're in control
Right.
of your attention.
Not the other way around.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that.
So until next time, folks, stay curious, stay focused,
And we'll see you next time on Mighty Habits.
and we'll see you next time on Mighty Habits.
Welcome back to Mighty Habits, everyone. So last time we talked about dopamine detox, right?
Yeah, we dove into the why.
The why.
Why our brains are so easily distracted.
Why? Like, why is it so hard to focus these days?
Yeah, it's like our attention spans have gone on a permanent vacation.
Totally. And we talked about how to hit that reset
The
button.
dopamine detox.
Yeah, the different
The
approaches.
48-hour, the 24-hour, the partial detox.
Right, like choose your fighter.
Exactly. But now I'm wondering, how do we actually keep our brains from immediately hitting restart on those bad habits?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right, because it's one thing to detox, but it's another thing entirely to actually build those sustainable habits that keep us focused and productive in the long run.
Yeah, we don't want this to just be a temporary fix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we make it stick?
Well, Thibaut, the author of Dopamine Detox, has some great insights on this.
Play it on me.
He's a big proponent of planning your day with intention.
Planning with intention. Okay, so let's go with the flow and more like chart the course.
Exactly. It's about making conscious choices about how you spend your time and energy rather than just letting the day happen to you.
I like that because I feel like most days I'm just kind of reacting to whatever comes my way.
Yeah, it's like we're on autopilot.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're intentional about how we structure our day, maybe we can actually get ahead of those distractions.
Right, and Thibaut suggests starting each morning by writing down 3 to 5 key tasks that you want to accomplish that day.
Okay, so it's like a to-do list, but with a purpose.
Exactly, and here's the key. You want to prioritize those tasks and tackle the most important one first.
So it's not just about getting things done, it's about getting the right things done.
Exactly, and you know what happens when you check off that big daunting task early in the day?
Right.
It creates this amazing sense of momentum.
Oh, yeah.
You're basically telling your brain, we're in control here, we're focused, and we're getting things done.
I love that feeling. It's like you're unstoppable.
And the rest of the day just feels lighter, even if other things get pushed aside.
So it's like starting your day with a victory lap.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for success from the get-go.
And I'm sold on that But what about those moments when our brains just refuse to cooperate?
Ah,
Yeah.
the dreaded procrastination monster.
That's like it lurks in the shadows waiting to sabotage our best intentions.
It's a sneaky little beast, but Thibaut has some tips for taming it.
Okay, give me the secret weapon.
Well, he emphasizes the importance of creating the right environment and routine to signal to your brain that it's focus time.
Okay, so we're back to the power of routine.
It's all about consistency, my friend.
You know, I've actually noticed that when I have a designated workspace and a consistent routine, I do tend to get more done.
It's not just you, there's science behind it.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Consistency helps condition your mind. If you always sit at your desk at 9 a.m. to write, for example, your brain starts to associate that time and place with focused work.
So it's like training your brain to anticipate those productive bursts.
Exactly, and it makes it easier to slip into that flow state.
It's like your brain knows what to expect and it's ready to get to work.
Precisely so. Having a designated workspace is key, and then choose a trigger that signals to your brain, okay, it's showtime.
A trigger. I like that. What kind of trigger are we talking about?
It could be something as simple as making a cup of tea, lighting a candle, or playing a specific playlist.
Oh, yeah, music is a great trigger for me. Certain types of music really help me focus.
Music can be incredibly powerful. It's all about finding what works for you. Some people prefer silence, others need white noise or nature sounds. Experiment and see what puts your brain in that ready-to-work mode.
So it's like creating a sonic landscape for focus.
Exactly. And once you've got your workspace and your trigger, then it's all about eliminating distractions. Turn off your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and let those around, you need uninterrupted time.
Oh, yeah, the good old do not disturb sign.
Essential? And Thibaut suggests working in blocks of at least 45 minutes before taking a break.
The classic deep work strategy.
It's like building a little bubble of focus where distractions can't penetrate.
And, I've definitely noticed that I get way more done when I work in those concentrated bursts.
It's amazing what we can accomplish when we're fully present and engaged.
It's like our brains were actually designed to focus,
Who knew?
right? And speaking of focus, Thibaut talks about the difference between open systems and closed systems.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
I love a good conceptual framework.
Yeah.
Break it down for me. What are open and closed systems?
So Thibaut describes open systems as those things like email, social media, the internet, anything that provides endless stimulation with no clear endpoint.
Okay, so it's like a bottomless pit of information and entertainment.
Exactly. They're designed to keep you engaged and coming back for more.
And closed systems.
Closed systems are focused tasks with a defined beginning and end, like writing a document or working on a spreadsheet.
So open systems are like those all-you-can-eat buffets, where you can just keep consuming and consuming, but there's no real satisfaction.
I love that analogy.
And closed systems are more like a beautifully crafted meal with a clear beginning and end.
You're getting it. Stephen and Thibodeau argues that starting your day with a closed system is crucial.
Oh, that makes sense, because if you start your day by checking email or social media,
Yeah.
you're basically priming your brain for distraction.
Exactly. You're letting those open systems dictate your attention from the get-go.
But if you start with a focused task, you're setting a different tone. You're telling your brain we're here to work, not to get sucked into the endless scroll.
You're taking control of your day instead of letting it control you.
I love that. So we've got a plan, we've got our routines, we're starting our days with intention, but let's be real, we're all human. There are going to be days when we slip up.
Of course, relapses are normal. They're part of the process.
So what do we do when we find ourselves scrolling through Instagram instead of working on that important project?
The key is to be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just acknowledge it and gently guide yourself back on track.
So it's like having a compassionate coach inside our heads rather than a drill sergeant?
Exactly. We want to cultivate self-compassion, not self-criticism.
Because let's face it, those distractions are sneaky. They're everywhere. It's like the world is designed to keep us hooked on those quick dopamine hits.
It's true, those algorithms are constantly evolving to keep us engaged.
So how do we resist those constant temptations?
Thibaut suggests creating a contingency plan.
Ah, yes, our preemptive strike against distraction. How do we create one of those?
It starts with identifying your triggers. When are you most vulnerable to those distractions? Is it first thing in the morning, after lunch, late at night?
Okay, so like if I know that I'm prone to a post-lunch social media scroll,
Exactly. Then you can brainstorm strategies to navigate that situation.
so maybe I replace that habit with a walk, quick meditation, or even just grabbing a cup of tea and enjoying a few minutes of silence.
Perfect. You're being proactive and setting yourself up for success.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's not about deprivation or willpower. It's about understanding how our brains work and then setting up our environment and habits to support our goals.
You're getting it, Stephen. And it's about recognizing that this is an ongoing process. There will be good days and bad days. The key is to keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep striving for that balance.
This has been so insightful, Mayor. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for managing my attention and creating a life that feels more focused, productive, and meaningful.
I'm so glad to hear that, Stephen. And remember, this journey isn't just about productivity. It's about creating a life where you feel more present, more engaged, and more connected to the things that truly matter.
All right, folks, welcome back to Mighty Habits for the final part of our deep dive into dopamine detox.
I'm excited to wrap this up.
Yeah, me too. And, you know, my brain already feels a little bit lighter just from all the strategies we've talked about so far.
It's amazing how these small changes can make a big difference.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so encouraging about this whole dopamine detox thing, right? It's not about like completely overhauling your life. It's about making those little tweaks that can have a ripple effect.
Exactly. It's about progress, not perfection.
So we've detoxed. We've learned to plan our days with intention. We've even embraced the power of routine and friction.
We've built our focus fortress.
Yes, our focus fortress is strong, but how do we make sure it doesn't crumble?
Right. How do we avoid falling back into those old dopamine traps?
How do we make this a sustainable lifestyle change?
Well, the first thing to remember is that relapses are normal.
Okay, so we're not striving for perfection. We're aiming for progress.
Exactly. Everyone slips up from time to time.
So what do we do when we find ourselves, scrolling through TikTok instead of working on that important project?
The key is to be kind to yourself. Notice when you're getting sucked back into those dopamine loops
Right.
and gently redirect your attention.
So it's not about beating ourselves up. It's about, having that compassionate coach inside our heads.
Exactly.
But sometimes it feels like those distractions are everywhere.
It's true. The world is designed to keep us hooked on those quick dopamine hits.
So how do we resist those constant temptations?
Remember that contingency plan we talked about?
Oh yeah, our preemptive strike against distraction.
It all starts with identifying your triggers. When are you most vulnerable to those distractions?
Okay, so if I know that I'm prone to a post-lunch social media scroll,
Exactly.
then I need to have a plan for that.
Right, you could replace that habit with something more nourishing, like a walk, a quick meditation, or even just grabbing a cup of tea and enjoying a few minutes of silence.
So it's about being proactive and having those healthy alternatives ready to go.
Exactly. You're rewiring your brain to choose those nourishing activities over those quick dopamine hits.
And you know what else I think is important in all of this?
That's that.
It's remembering to cultivate those here and now neurotransmitters.
Oh, yeah. Those feel-good chemicals.
Endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin.
The more we can cultivate those, the less power those dopamine-driven urges will have over us.
So it's not just about avoiding things, it's about adding in those activities that nourish our minds and bodies.
Exactly. Things like exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, connecting with loved ones.
It's about creating a lifestyle that supports our goals and values.
A lifestyle that feels aligned and fulfilling.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation, Mary. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for managing my attention and creating a life that feels more focused, productive, and meaningful.
That's fantastic to hear, Stephen. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Right.
There will be bumps along the way, but the key is to keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep coming back to those core principles of self-awareness, intentionality, and creating an environment that supports your goals.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
And speaking of progress, I'd love to hear from our listeners what's one small change you're going to make today to reclaim a little bit of your focus.
Share your insights in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going.
And of course, folks, don't forget to subscribe to Mighty Habits for more deep dives into topics that can help you level up your life.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into dopamine detox, everyone. Remember, you have more control over your attention than you might think. Stay curious, stay focused, and we'll see you next time on Mighty Habits.